Hello, hi, Haunted of the Truth, Mark, and I'm with Dan and Chris. Just say hi, make sure this is working.
Hello.
Oh, blimmin' heck. Yeah, that's
Hello.
working. So we're here, well, depending on how many people join, we are going to talk about what we believe, what I believe, what Chris believes. We're going to talk about um, the general community, paranormal community, skeptic community, and what's going on there. But we will start with just a little catch up, little update of things and how we've been and stuff like that. So, what we at? 2 days. In 2 days' time, you're going to be hit with the episode at the tea rooms. Without any spoilers, guys. You're going to be hit with the episode. What are your thoughts?
With the
Dan?
tea rooms?
Yeah.
What tea rooms going out tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Wait, what day is it today? It's
I was going
Friday.
to say,
Goes out
it's
Sunday.
Friday.
Goes out Sunday,
Sunday.
yeah. So, like, in it, sum it up, what's to expect without spoiling it?
Well, it's absolutely bloody mental. No one's investigated it before.
No,
If you say you have, you're lying. Not in the way we've done it, anyway.
not video-wise anyway, no.
Yeah. It's never really been investigated and put online, has it? Didn't
So,
expect going there. It's old as hell. It looks awful, doesn't it? Like, beautiful inside, but from the
yeah,
outside, it looks decrepit.
we come across the place because I seen a report on Somerset Live of what they were saying was a figure in the window, and then lo and behold, this place has been around for donkeys, and said to have some sort of activity in there, so that's why we went. Bit of a
And that's what we call.
we called something weird, yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's. Yeah.
I thought about it for a couple of days after, and especially when we got onto the edit after that, I thought to myself, well, if we've caught anything and it's on camera, what are we going to say? What can we say?
Yeah, it's a bit of a. It's so weird. It's just so weird. Another one, just to let people know. Josh, I actually filmed with Josh yesterday. We went into. Finally, which I've wanted to do for such a long time, we went into Brown's Folly Quarry Cave. Not just in, have a little poke about. We went deep into this cave. We got really lost because it starts going left and right, then up, then down, and over here and up there, and it started getting to a point where it was like potholing, where we're like crouching, crawling through things and stuff. And then did some calling outs and stuff. I don't want to say anything yet because I haven't watched the footage back. But we went to leave the place and I realised I didn't know the way back. Because all the arrows were going that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Oh, I was going to say kind of like directions in Wales, but that might.
What if should have breadcrumbs and markers?
The only reason I say that is because I went to Wales once and I was walking to a McDonald's and I said, "Where's a McDonald's to?" And they went, "Oh, just down by there. You just go over there, right? And you turn left and then you go around the corner." And I was like, "Okay." Took me an hour to get there. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, we did struggle to get out. But Josh has said that he has got a new job, so I want to try and work around his job and getting up early. And he said he does want to come on a few more. I know a couple of people have missed Josh and his one-liners of absolute madness. So yeah, Josh is coming back. Right, who's here anyway? So anybody here? Just ready, player John. Hello. Is anyone else here with us? Just if you've got any questions before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me know, and I will discuss them to our 10,000 current followers and watchers.
I think a lot of people have asked where Josh is, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's a shame he can't be on the live tonight to give us his
I
little lowdown.
reckon, because it's a Friday night, that he's gone out for some bevies. That's what I reckon. Or he's just
I put
finished work.
hand up.
Probably.
I have messaged him though, so at any moment he could pop up and be like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And then suddenly I just go, "Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, join. Let yourself be known." Shall we crack on? I mean, don't
I mean,
forget.
this is a bit of a whim for the live, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, we didn't warn anyone.
we want to discuss a few things, even if people watch it afterwards, you know?
Yeah. So where should we begin? I'm gonna go straight for the jugular. And I'm gonna begin with the community. Because it is a bit of a whim, but I'm doing it off of a whim, back off of just some stuff that's just like I'm seeing online, and it's just like grinding at my brain. So I'm just gonna hit it straight on and just lay it out there. So obviously there's a multitude of different paranormal teams out there, and communities, really firm believers, and then really, really firm skeptics, and then you've got the people that are just outright faking it, who can, quite frankly, just fuck off of the internet, in my opinion. And then you've got people, obviously, that now then there's new people which are debunking these people. I have no problems actually with people debunking the fakers. I think that's a general thing that we can say, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got the patience to sit through and watch videos.
Well,
I just get angry with them.
Most of the people that are faking, they're obviously faking, and they're being debunked for it, because there are some seriously gullible people out there. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
needs.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
it
we
just
look at them,
is.
we go nah, straight away, and then we just move on.
I mean,
you know?
whoever's following Really Haunted still is like, no offense, like, wake up. He's clearly faking stuff, and I've got a multitude of evidence to say why as well, which
I think a lot
is
of
out
people
there.
are. I think the people that have been called up, they've had to change up their content a little bit, haven't they?
Now, this is the bit that's confusing me. It's the general view in society of how I'm just really baffled how these channels have got like masses of follows. Like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? Who's actually buying into this? Because it just seems ludicrous.
It's a difficult one, Mark, because you think about it this way: most channels and most people following these channels, that we're doing it for one reason only: the paranormal.
Yeah.
And you want to see something that you can't explain. You want to see something to further your belief. You want to see something to have a little bit of faith, and to feel a little bit of comfort. And they're latching onto these channels that are getting outrageous things happen, and they're really buying into it because that's what they want to buy into. That could be a reason.
I mean, I suppose that could be. You could say the same about the fake clairvoyant and mediums out there. I mean, I know some people are going to go, no, they're all fake, but let's say there are real ones. You do get people that are faking, and people will still buy into it because they are grasping to find something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously, because we don't, if I was to like look at our channel in that sense, we don't necessarily say this is yes, this is no. We are going in to talk to the spirit of Elizabeth Somerset. We believe she's here. And then when a light bulb goes off, we go, hello, Elizabeth. We don't do that. So that's those people, they might differ from it, if that makes sense.
No, until a ghost or something of that nature appears to you and says, hi, my name's Bob. I died in the corner. Then why would you?
I mean, I personally won't. I don't know what it would take for me, actually. I think if I went to Snuff Mills, knowing what Elizabeth Somerset looks like, and I was on the bridge, and then suddenly someone came past on a horse, and it vanished, I would be arrogant or ignorant or whatever the word is to not turn around and say, Jesus Christ, I think that was Elizabeth Somerset.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have no choice.
5 years ago, you would definitely be arrogant towards it.
Oh yeah. So like obviously I was like completely like, Dan, what was I like?
Um,
You can say anything, by the way. There's no
I'm trying to censor myself. No, you were a bit of a pleb, to be honest with you, mate. When it come to that kind of paranormal, not as a person, you're not. But you know, when it comes to like the paranormal stuff like that, you were very harsh on some instances. For your own reasons. I mean, your reasons are just the same, or the opposite of my reasons or Chris's reasons, because that's the way that you are. You know, you've got a very scientific brain, a very analytical brain, and you like to analyze things. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. Whereas I believe in absolutely everything. I believe in like talking Hindu elephants. I believe in everything.
talking
Yeah,
Hindu elephants.
I don't know. It just pops into my head, and I had to say it. But yeah, I just believe in everything. That's just the way I've been brought. You know, it's probably something to do with my family background. It could be anything. You know, because I know my nan. I mean, she was very, very much well, not, I couldn't necessarily say Catholic, but she could recite the Bible backwards. She was a very
Well,
firm
you don't
believer in.
want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that.
That's
But you know what I mean. You could pick any part of it, and she'd know it. You know, and it's kind of that. That's my background.
but you're saying you're effectively like pretty much
Yeah,
I was Mr. Grey skeptic, basically. If you're going to compare it to somebody else on the internet, I was at his level of skepticism.
Mr. Gray,
Maybe even worse.
Mr. Gray's polite.
Yeah, I wasn't polite, was I? I was just, there's nothing here. This is shit. There's nothing. F all over there. F all over there. Nothing's happening. And then I get pelted by a rock, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? But
Well, this is
it's funny.
And you quite happily piss in their cornflakes, and they'd be going in and going, "Oh, I believe in this and believe in that," and then you come in and go, "Right," with your size nines on, and go, "Right, yeah, this is all nonsense. It's wired, bungee cords, and."
Talking of the people that are obviously, you know, slightly skeptical, and the ones that are debunking and stuff like that. You know, we have joined, and I have joined some of their lives. So this is in relation to them. Mr. Gray's, I mean, I applaud what he started, and looking into basically putting all these absolute tosspots it to bed, because some of them have actually started dropping off of YouTube now. So that one's for you, Mr. Gray. But then I joined Beardo's one, and he seems it's because he's a believer, but then I've started getting a bit confused. I'm a bit like, for example, he mentioned something the other day saying how he won't call out and say a channel is a good channel to watch if they're if they've gotten outrageous things like items moving, which can fucking happen. Don't ask me how, but it can.
Or launch at you.
And then on the same token, he's then saying, "Oh yeah, I've had an experience, and I won't touch Ouija boards because the glass flew off the board." So he knows it can happen, and I'm like, well.
Yeah, but this is the perception, right? Which most debunkers and most communities go by now, which is confusing, right? And I'll touch on it. They state that 99% of the time you get nothing, so that makes you legit.
No,
absolutely not. No. I mean, there doing it wrong,
I've done doing this
they're
now
not trying
since like
hard enough, or they're not going to the right locations, you know?
I've been doing this a while. I've been doing this technically since I was 18, and I'll admit, when I first started doing it, and it was with teams of people and groups of people, and going with, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to defamate anybody, but some of it was a load of crocker. Like, it was just, a cold breeze would go past, and they would be like, "Oh my god, that's something," and I was there for ages going, "There isn't anything." I'm going to say it now. At one point in my life, I can't remember when it was, I actually put out £1,000, and I said, if somebody can categorically prove to me that there's what you're saying is happening, it's real, I will give you that £1,000. I said that. That's how confident I was. And then a few years later down the line, I met you, Chris, and then some crazy things started happening. So for these people to have nothing happen, that means you're doing it wrong. No offense, but if you're not having anything happening, you're either going to the wrong places or you're not doing something right.
Or they're deliberately playing to the debunkers. I mean, like, we sit there and watch hours and hours of footage, and we listen intensely. That's what we do, and we got 3 eyes on it as well, and we watch through everything. I mean, and we're there a long time, and also we've got the locations that we say to people to go to, and they don't. Do you any other group been to Snuff Mills, Mark?
I don't know of any other groups that have gone there and filmed, but I know people have gone down there and done investigations. Because obviously, when we spoke to what's his name, the gentleman in the garden,
Yeah,
I can't remember his name now. He obviously had been down there with his son and whatnot, and they had an experience.
Yeah.
And then when you post it on the internet, it's like, yeah, I've been down there. It's weird. Blah 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 blah. So discounting those people.
Yeah, but they're not the ones with a YouTube channel. So are people playing to a certain percentage? Do they need a place that just looks creepy with no history?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
What we're doing is we're essentially looking for locations all the time, and we're a lot of the time is a whim, and we're finding something, and then we're spending hours in that location trying to taunt it and do something, trying different methods. Not everything we do goes on camera because we got to squeeze it down to a certain amount of time. Otherwise, you're just going to be watching us sat there doing nothing.
I think a lot of the things is that people only associate hauntings with historical buildings. Now, some of the most amazing footage we've captured have been in normal, residents, normal homes that you wouldn't even think would be haunted. But some of the most amazing stuff we've ever captured.
Yeah, I look for niche as much as I can.
But Mark, what's the view then? The 99%.
Of what? Sorry.
What's the view on the 99% theory? What you see all these channels raving on about? If 99% of the time you catch nothing, which makes you more legit than the channels that are getting something. Because let's be honest.
Maybe the problem is because there's so many people faking out there. It's now if someone's getting nothing, they become more eligible. Like, we sometimes get nothing. That, like, there's, what was it, Blaze Castle? Christ, nothing up in there. It's dead.
Yeah, I know, but like, my point of it,
we're chatting to all of one people.
Are they standing by this whole thing of, if you get nothing, you're legit? I think that's outright fucking diabolical. Sorry, mate, but that just makes us look stupid because we do catch stuff, and we catch stuff that we can't explain, that we want to explain and go, nah, this is that, sorry, and this is this, and sorry, but we can't.
I wish I could. I'd be such a. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do that.
And everyone we talk to, Mark, they watch it and they go, "Oh, I don't know." You've got so many science people that you've got friends that are scientists,
yeah,
and they've watched our stuff and they go, "I have no idea, no clue." It doesn't even come under the category of science. It's mental.
Well, yeah, that you just get told like things which, it's like, oh, is there a subway under this place that could have caused a vibration and stuff? It's just really kind of far-fetched stuff that,
Yeah, far-fetched stuff. Yeah.
um, I mean,
But like, why do why do we all go ghost hunting? Why do we paranormal investigate? Simply because we want to catch stuff, right?
Beardo
We
seen
wouldn't.
Mars, didn't he? And he said with the toy that, batteries and stuff. And I'd actually already thought about that scenario on the spot, and
Yeah.
I took it home with me and done vigorous tests on it, and I, you know what I mean? I've left it to discharge and all sorts, and it's not done the same thing.
He
So.
wouldn't last 5 minutes in that place where you caught that. He wouldn't last care.
No.
Not many people would, Dan. Not many people would. He recently called out, but like, because obviously Chris is touching on other channels and stuff, but he called out some other channels, and I was half expecting ours to be in there because conversations I've had with him on the live, it's been, he's been talking to us, and he's literally said on one of his lives, yeah, I watch your stuff, I like you guys, you're etc etc, and then all of a sudden I'm caught off guard because I'm like, well, I don't care. Like, everybody's entitled to an opinion and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's
but
just this. I'm just in a state of confusion more than anything.
I can tell you this for a damn fact. If anyone like them, especially Beardo's, watched our footage and our content, it's going to be a smack to the face. It's hard to take. It's 100% real.
Hmm.
Everything we're doing, a lot of the time we cut a lot of boring parts out, but we highlight the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to take some of it. But the locations we've gone to, we've just been lucky because we have gone to some and we get absolutely sod all.
I'm just gonna
And then
say
we even
hello
go,
to anybody who's just joined. Sorry to cut you off, Chris, but I did see a few other people joining, so just hello to you lot. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Carry on, Chris.
yeah, it's just a hard one to take if you're watching our channel. Some of our episodes are awfully like hard to take, like almost to the point where you go, "Oh, these guys got to be fake," but we're not. And you if we were, we'd be called out by now. That's what I'm saying. But back to Beardo, as nice as he is, I understand what you're saying. I do.
I think he's
But
a bit conflicted
you
in
got to look
maybe.
at what someone can gain from us. I mean, we're a very small channel in comparison to the rest of them.
It shouldn't be about that though, should it? It shouldn't be
No,
about what can I get from somebody. It should be about genuine human beings going like, I like this and I like that.
well, we're avoided by absolutely everyone. The only one recently who's actually said some really nice things about us is Mr. Gray. And he's the biggest skeptic on the planet.
Mr. Gray, I look like he just makes me laugh, and things when he just pops at people is funny. But obviously, like the skeptics, they're always going to think one way anyway, and their opinion is fine. What I don't like is when I take something to somebody and then they go, well, how can we don't really know you? How do we know this is legit? My reason for taking it to them isn't necessarily to make them believe it. It's because I think to myself, well, they're quite switched on. They might know something that I don't. And they might be able to say, oh, have you thought about this? Or, oh, have you thought about that? But then straight away it's like, and I'm not referring to Mr. Gray or Beardo now, it's just in general. It's straight into, oh, how can we trust you? I went on a live thingy once with these Americans, and they were all like, yeah, but we don't know you. We don't know if this is true. It's just, I just didn't know what to do. And I understand to a point, like, if I was to sit down, I think I said this to you the other day, Chris, if I was to sit down and watch some of the episodes, Hanging Trees, Snuff Mills, Poltergeist House, and it was me when I was 18, 19, and you came to me and went, look at these, I would sit there and go, bollocks. I'd be like, I've been to loads of places, that sort of thing don't happen. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it.
Yeah, but that's the
And
point
now
I'm
I'm in a
making.
position I have to accept that it happened because I was there.
Yeah.
It's
there's
like,
there's a difference, Mark, because the thing is, you've seen some things in your time
I've
since
seen
doing
some things in my time.
this. Go on the dark side.
Yeah. Carry
There's
on.
some things in your time that is messed with your head, unexplainable stuff, and that's the difference, mate. It's easy for people to formulate on a opinion on something that they haven't experienced.
Mm.
It's very easy. It was like you could put some of our footage on there, and
You've got a
somebody.
comment through, mate.
Oh, hello. Sorry, Dan. Hi, guys. Bit off topic, but what's the most active place you've been? Somewhere that you can actually go. Snuff Mills. Snuff
It's
Mills,
free as well.
without a shadow of a doubt, every single time. But then if it's somewhere where we got privately to go, oh, it's a knock up. It's a knock. Poltergeist house. I mean, Snuff Mills, Poltergeist house, Snuff Mills. They're on par with each other. They're on par with each other.
I think the Poltergeist house was that was mental, but that was not expected at all.
No.
I mean, I'd say something though. Actually, the owners are actually watching the debunkers now. I mean, what's interesting is we went there because they showed us stuff that they had, and they told us stories. And then when we went there, did you find it funny how they didn't actually believe that they had a ghost?
No, not once did they say it was a ghost.
Yeah.
The owners said, "Oh, we've been told maybe it's rats, but if it's a rat, it must be the size of a mongoose." And we found that funny.
Hello, Robin.
Ah, hello,
Hey, Robin.
Robin, do you want to come into the Discord chat as well, or are you happy to just? Because you being a patron, you've got access to that if you want to do it. I'm not plugging, by the way. I'm just it's just for the sake of Robin.
Yeah,
Take
I found
one.
it really, really strange. I think we didn't think about it properly when it happened, did we? We kind of just went, hold on. We did the interview, and they didn't actually say they had a ghost.
But
They just basically, what did she call it? She called it, we got a mongoose rat in the loft or something.
on the question that was asked, though, they said it was off subject. It's not really, because it's still that's in the subject of like the belief and stuff. And I think like both Snuff Mills and that place, like I've said multiple times, was my turning point of being outright. There's nothing to right. There's something. Now my front, this is just me. So if you ever see Haunted Truth on anything commenting on YouTube, right, that's me. Because I tend to just leave that logged in because it's easier. And honestly, I have no idea. I don't know. I can speculate. My speculations go a little bit sci-fi. So, like interstellar type thing, like dimensional, something that might be just like a thin line and there's something there within another realm that's coming through. But then that starts doing my head in as well. I'm going to outright say on here now, I'm too stubborn to say something is paranormal or a place is haunted with 100%.
Yeah, and this is a guy.
I'm too stubborn to say that
seen things with his own eyes happen.
because I do not. I mean, I want to come across in the show like that I can get some understanding. So when you see me in the episode saying I don't know what's going on, in my head I'm going, shit, what happens if there is a demon here? Or shit, what happens if this is so and so here? And I've got a massive conflict of, on one shoulder, Mr. Rational, and on the other shoulder, complete. There is stuff. Is God real? If this is real, all that sort of like, and it's like the two are battling each other. So I can just say I don't know what's going on, and I'm also like, sometimes I just don't want to sound silly, because you can sound like, I've had people look at me like, I'm gonna call it the
Yeah, well, what about this then, right? Put it in
like that.
perspective. One of our biggest things that happened to us was never caught on camera, and it was at Snuff Mills. Why don't you tell people that story?
The biggest
Oh,
thing that never got caught on camera. Oh,
yeah, well,
don't even go there. By the way, Robin, if you've got a question, feel free to ask as well. So we were at Snuff Mills. We went there on a whim, just for the shits and giggles. Why not? And doing, the usual stones and stuff like that. And I'll get to that as well because we've just gotten used to seeing stones and stuff now. But that's another. We'll get to that. Remind me of that. And we were leaving, and I was all cocky, and I was like, "Stone for the road." And then we heard this big off thing like land, and Chris crapped himself, and he was like, "Nah," and started running a little bit, and I went, it's all the way over there. This thing can't do shit." And then we got what, about 5 minutes down the path, and then all of a sudden, this sound that I can only describe as about 20. Well, it started off at about 5, and it went up to about 25 shopping trolleys being pushed through the water. Imagine they're being pushed through the water. They're full of scrap metal whilst somebody's letting off French bangers. And the sound goes from a 5 to about a 25, and it gets closer and closer and closer. It was like.
So yeah, we all ran and we left Dan, didn't we?
Yeah, we left down. I thought I'd gone too far. I thought, this is it. This is it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
you were
I've opened up
back.
a portal to hell, and
Well,
I'm
it
gonna
did. It
die.
sounded like a portal was opening. It was really weird, mate. It was the loudest, horrible thing I've ever heard in my life, and we didn't even catch it on camera.
And
Yeah, it
if
was.
you're saying to me, what do I believe that was? I don't know. I remember I looked over my shoulder and seen like blue lights and stuff over the river. I was like, what the hell is that?
Oh, it was making the water go mental, wasn't it? It was awful. It was something was happening.
Do you know what was interesting? I found at the end when we got to the car park. Well, when I eventually got to the car park, you turn round and basically told it you cannot follow us him, you can't do this, you can't do that. And he was like, and I was like, okay, I don't know
Well,
what to
yeah,
make
'cause we didn't want to
the
take any
car.
chances of it being anything that
That
we
really
didn't understand.
scared me. And trust me, if it was something I could explain, I'm the first one to jump on it. And I get
Yeah,
cocky as. I am so cocky. Like, I did a video once because I realised something. And then, Chris, you were like, you can't put that out, Mark. You sound like a knobhead. it's too
Yeah.
it's too cocky. It's too cocky. But, like, that sort of thing I couldn't explain. The thing we ran from in bloody what's he called? Sally in the Woods in the tower, that I thought was an alien, and it turned out to be a fox. Yeah, those certain
Lee
things.
Woods has quite the effect on you for a little while too, didn't it? Yeah, Lee Woods was definitely a weird one. That episode in particular is Demon in the Woods.
Yeah, we're not okay. I want to put something straight. Well, from my point of view, anyway. We don't call something demon in the woods. We're not saying, yes, this is 100% a demon in the woods. It's just, what do you call it? It's not like science has come forward and said to us, oh, actually, if you thought about this name. Plus, nobody searches strange occurrence in the woods that made us run away. Who searches that? Nobody. I went there the other day. Did you guys know that? We just went there. Wanted to go there for the view. I wasn't going there for any paranormal stuff, so I took two mates in my local area, and we were walking through, and I was trying to find a viewpoint because it was marked on the map, and then it suddenly got dark, and I went, oh God, and I'm in the woods, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, and I was like, nah, just do it, just ignore everything, don't call out, just do it. He's got his music playing, we're chill. Suddenly his music cuts off. His phone's gone from 50% to 20%, like that. The other person's phone has gone also down to 20%, like that. Suddenly, one of them then says he's got pressure in his ears and like tinnitus. And I just went,
Yeah.
got the EMF, and the EMF was going off. And I went, we need to leave this spot now. I don't know
Yeah.
what is in that place, but it does something different. It's not like our normal like episodes
Yeah.
where
So with
things
that
get
place, Rob,
thrown.
with that place, Robin, in particular, we had a little bit of pre-advice given to us. And we got told there was a certain location that we had to find, and it's marked on the tree. So there's like a little white dot on a tree that you can find, and then that's the location you need to be in. Because apparently some people have stupidly, so say, we don't know this if this is definitely true, but so say, summoned a demon there.
Well,
And
I got told there's demon worshippers there, and me being me, I need evidence. I can't just go off the back of that. And then suddenly I'm seeing signposts, right? So the people on YouTube can see this. So the signposts look like that, right? And it's got a bloody demon on it. So I thought, well, I'll follow that signpost. And then I come across a campsite, and that there is what was at the campsite.
yeah, the crossroad. Yeah,
Right. This I don't know if you can't probably see it because this is a big flag with like what is that, Baphomet or something on the flag. So I was like, well, that if that bit of the story that I got told is true, then the bit with the crossroads with the marking and the marking was on the tree is true.
yeah, it's all true.
Everything's adding up. So
But
then
what
we
went
go
on
there.
you can't explain what went on there. It's impossible.
It's like I can actually. I can't explain how it happened or what's going on, but I can give you a scenario of what it felt like. If you watched The Evil Dead, when they read from the Necronomicon, right? And then that thing comes through the forest and it's like,
Yeah.
and all the trees are going and everything, and it's flying through the forest. It was like that. There was this thing coming through the forest towards us, and we couldn't see it, and we just all stood there thinking, any moment now we're going to see a badger. You know what I mean?
All around us. It was like on all four corners of the areas
It
around
went
us.
in a circle. It went, and then all of a sudden, from being completely fine, so it's not like we're scared. Like we were a bit like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And then it sort of died down, and then I started going, come on then, come on then, come on then, and then all of a sudden, shooting pain across my head, tense,
And
deep.
you could be the hardest man on the planet. I don't care how muscly you think you are or how hard you are. You're running away from that.
It felt like I had taken sleeping tablets or something, and I just went really nauseous, really dizzy, pain across my head. Then my chest started going. Now I know that's a sign of anxiety, but I wasn't feeling anxious. I normally know when an anxiety type thing's coming on because I've had that sort of thing for years now. And then I started going, oh, I think we need to go. Next thing I know, I turn round without saying how I'm feeling, and you, Chris, are going, oh, I feel dizzy. Then Billy, oh, what's going on? Then we scarper, then suddenly Josh starts getting a headache, and the EMF's going mental, and we get like what, a little bit far away from it, EMF dies down.
Well, things were chucked at us, weren't they? Things were coming flying at us.
We took a breather, and then the EMF went, and then something got chucked, and then we just scarpered. We were gone. And we haven't actually gone back since because, like as a team, I have because I'm mental.
Yeah, but you probably ain't gone back to the crossroad, have you?
No, actually, when I went, oh, we're avoiding going that way, and he went, why? And I went, because I have to go past the crossroads.
Yeah. By the way, for anyone listening to this, we're not like stupid. We know like the whole supernatural thing of crossroads, is a thing, but we didn't buy it.
We're going off a whim. Going off a whim.
Yeah, we really just went, this is a load of hunky dory. It clearly isn't.
What do you believe, Chris?
What do I believe in what respect?
What the I don't want to say without swearing. What the hell is going on? Because let's be fair, this stuff's not meant to happen. In all sense of rationality and science, it ain't meant to happen. So
No,
what is
it's not.
going on?
It's not. I've had pre-experiences before meeting you anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got a different sort of level of belief to you. And it's not like I can turn around and say, oh, I know the afterlife exists. I know that you're going to be all right when you die. I don't. The stuff we're seeing, just you're left with more questions all the time. So if something happens and you go, oh my God, that was amazing, that automatically in your brain you go, okay, do it again. And then you go, do it again, do it again. You always want the next big thing. But the problem is when something so bad happens that you run away from it, it scars you a little bit. It makes you think and it makes you worry. So I won't touch things like Ouija boards simply because I don't want to take the risk of it actually being real. Because I don't know what is and what ain't no more. It kind of has messed with me a little bit. So I'm not a full on believer of that degree. I've got my questions. But if there is such thing as spirits and some sort of realm, the one thing we haven't caught, which is the ultimate goal, is intelligent response.
Well,
we haven't actually had something talking to us direct.
Apart from Poltergeist House where it pig noised us. That was a bit weird.
Oh, yeah, that
and a sorry. Which I
Oh,
can't,
the sorry, yeah,
I can't,
the sorry.
I can't explain that either. I cannot explain that. That shit me up a little bit.
I mean, we're not. I mean, we're not like traditionally following what other groups do. I mean, I don't really want to be like other groups, you know, and follow, you know, exactly how they do things. I mean, like you've got to look at them. They even say it themselves. 99% of the time they catch nothing.
It's not just that. It's like me personally, I've never been a follower. I don't like being a sheep and doing the same as everyone else. Just because
people that were different.
I'm happy to try different things though. Like Robin, if you're still here, you mentioned using the singing bowl, and as much as I thought to myself, nah, this is just a bowl that's dinging. This doesn't do anything. I listen to you, and I will go, well, I'll give it a go. And we went to the Saxon grounds, and every time I dung it, there was a knock. And now I'm like, well, there could be something to this now. Like, really good. Paul. Hi, guys. Just a quickie. At the Shakespeare pub near Temple Meads. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, write that down, Mark. I was in the Shakespeare Temple Meads, media doors and shut,
the rest of the group
were
downstairs.
Rattled, and the rest of the group were downstairs in the bar.
We had door rattled the other day.
These kind of things do happen. They do happen, honestly, you know, and it's not something you can easily explain. You just process it, and that's it.
You look at it and you go, well, what I did, because we had door rattle it, which I don't want to say too much, but we have had a door rattle. You're going to see it Sunday. But there's a bit in it where it rattles, and I get up and I walk up to it and I go, do it again. So I'm all, you know what I'm like. I'm like, if you don't do it 3 times, you didn't do it at all. But I know that it happened.
Yeah, wait for Sunday's episode to come out. You know,
Dan, say your bit on here because I know we've got big voices.
I was just saying to Paul, is that opposite Tony Benn house on Victoria Street?
It might take him time to. Oh, he's going to read it straight away anyway. I don't know what these. So you don't know if it's. You can't really give it a name yourself, Chris, as saying, oh yeah, it's the dead, or oh yeah, it's a demon. Stuff is displayed. Signs of.
Right. Okay. So what it looks like what we've called is paranormal activity. Right. That's what it's described as.
Well, it's certainly in that category, isn't it?
On every level, you'll go, oh, we've caught something paranormal. The problem is most groups are scared to go, right, it's paranormal. I'm not scared to go, it's paranormal. When we've caught something, I even say to you, wow, that's paranormal. And you've had to turn around to me and go, whoa, you've jumped that conclusion quite quick.
Yeah, and I would say it's paranormal.
What it is, and you can't.
It's paranormal until somebody really, like unless Brian Cox or Neil deGrasse Tyson watches it and they tell me something that we hadn't even thought of, and it's something deep within the science community, it's paranormal until somebody like that says otherwise. It's like a UFO is a UFO until it's been identified. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Because you can't. It's not normal, is it? A toy flying out of the room is not normal.
No. And how it hasn't been viewed or wanted to be viewed, it's free as well, which is amazing. You know, it's easy to just click and watch the episode. Poltergeist House.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
like the fact that the people live in there and they don't want to be known or named, they don't seek it as a financial gain at all in any way, shape, or form. But the fact that they go, oh well, we don't know if it's a ghost, it says a lot. You know, they didn't even say, oh, our house is haunted with a poltergeist or anything. They just went, wow, we can't sleep at night. We're moving out of our house. We've built an annex on the back of the house. So the house is yours. Go and have a look and see what you think it is.
And
And we've
then
gone up there, all cocky, and we've shat ourselves.
part of me, because I was so skeptical, I almost thought that there was maybe a very small portion that they were hoping what I'm hoping people can do, which is just explain it with something that maybe they haven't thought of, just so I can like give them a little bit of ease and rest. But I couldn't do that
No,
because
it's impossible to
it's
do.
mental. Abbott's Pool. Where's Abbott's Pool? How just a Shakespeare pub? Where's Abbott's Pool to?
Hey, but yes, there's a church nearby. I really do advise you to go to Abbott's Hall.
Is it Pool or Hall? Pool. Abbott's
Hall.
Pool. Pool. I'll look into
Yeah.
it. I'm taking pictures of anywhere recommended because we're always looking for locations. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
it's
I think we like locations that no one else has ever really been to as well.
Dan.
Everyone's done the shit out of 30 East Drive, haven't they? I mean, what's the point?
So Dan, you sort of touched on it earlier with some of the stuff you were saying. But if you were to like sort of sum it up, what do you believe? Because I'm the yin to your yang. So what's your perception in regards to maybe not your belief as a whole, but in regards to the things that you've witnessed whilst with us?
Put it this way, I couldn't tell you what it is. I'd like to know. I'd like to think I know what I would like it to be. However, I know all I know is enough that I've seen enough to respect it. That's why I never told. I'll leave that up to you, because if I can't see it, I ain't gonna mess with it. That's the way I look at it.
I'll tell you what you can talk about if you want, Dan. Because I will touch on it a little bit because there's some news I'd like to tell people.
Okay.
Is you did get an opportunity to go into the Poltergeist house for the podcast.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Because I don't think it was brought across on the podcast episode of what happened to you. We had the whole of the downstairs to ourselves. What actually happened?
I couldn't explain it. I feel. I mean, it's something that you said, but looking back on it now, it's kind of true. I think I formulated an attachment to the house, because I don't know. I felt a certain ease.
Well, the weird thing for us was we brought a out and out skeptic along with us in the podcast called Dan.
Yeah.
His name was Dan. It was Dan versus Dan.
That's
And
right.
he was a skeptic completely. And while we were doing the podcast, a coin got chucked out of another room out on the landing.
That's right. Yeah.
Where no one was there. And even he was absolutely gobsmacked by that. And he was a skeptic. He didn't want to believe in nothing. And he left that place and wanted to go back himself. He went, wow, I've had an experience. I want more. That's what this place does to you, you know? And so we've recently been in touch with the owners, and apparently they're happy to do an interview. They're happy to openly talk about their home.
We can't guarantee that yet at the moment. It can, so we're hoping that we can get that, but we will see. We will see. That might be something. There's a
Vibration
green
for
link
the
next to the
message.
door, green
That.
gospel, which is now closed. I'm gonna take a photo of all of these.
Yeah.
Just like the locations.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
It's honestly.
Yeah, any freebies, that suits us fine.
Yeah, thanks,
We're not
Paul.
loaded with money. We don't have a lot of money to go by. But yeah, any freebies, that'd be amazing.
I have a policy as well. So if there's anything that you have a story about, or if you actually have a house or know somebody with a house, or it's somewhere which you wanted to specifically show us, we actually do allow people to join us in the episodes and be a part of that with that specific location. So if that was something that you were wanting to do, you can. The only other way to get in the episodes is pretty much Patreon, so, and even that I don't always let them in.
Well, we're happy to take people along.
The big
it's
woods
just
in Lockleys.
Isn't that where we did the
very
little?
long, aren't they?
Isn't that where we did the little bunkers, the World War II bunkers by the big
Purdown.
beacon tower thing? Yeah.
I did have somebody else actually tell me that Purdown, the woods next to Purdown, which we haven't been in, have got a lot going on in them.
Yeah, but don't that all connect to Stoke Park?
It does, yeah. They're apparently, like Lizzie Sosay, been up there, and she's been knocking about everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think Robin. I don't think that they will want to be shown on camera. Not that I know of, anyway. But they're happy to do an interview and like a little tour / maybe investigation. I don't know yet. I'll have to wait and see.
If it would be one of those like crime sort of programs where it all blacked out and the voices all changed.
So honestly, don't expect me or Mark to be going in that bloody loft.
Yeah, I actually posted on the Lockleys. Were you in that group when I posted it on the Lockleys group? Because I was messaging on there, and a couple of people said, yeah, to go in the woods right next to the bunkers. Maybe we have to do that.
Yeah.
It's the one. It's just you got the school, and then there's this woods just by it.
Yeah.
That's not far, is it? It's quite nice weather. We do that at some point. I will say, like, I always say the stories, and you know, every time, like with the Ram, for example, it's made out to be like this really, really, really haunted place. If we went there and nothing happened, I would have gone, there's nothing here. All of this is lies. Like, that is my policy. We see nothing, you see nothing. If nothing happens, here it is, and here's me smug at the end going, see, told you so.
Yeah, but you know what it is? If we showed 3 hours of nothing, we'd get 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah, the monk in Snuff Mills, I also got told that he, what's that pub at the top of, I've forgotten the name of the pub next to Glenside that's now shut down, which we tried to get into and the alarm went off. There's actually, in the basement, there's a tunnel that leads to the church, and that's where he used to hide, and he got trapped and he starved to death.
Is that the one on the main road?
Yes.
Yeah.
He got trapped.
Yeah.
Ain't it funny though that we seem to think that, you know, religious propagation down there seems to create the activity a little bit more, and the story is the monk used to practice that down there, but he was never allowed, so that's why he had to hide away.
Oh, now I know who this is. I'm here like, so this is you're the person that sent the pic of the Ram, and you're the one that has been talking to us on the community. So
is that the shadow with the horns, the weird thing?
See, I'm terrible with names. I do apologise.
Have you seen like literally 10% of your screen is a computer screen?
No, I'm getting the picture up. Yeah, because for some reason it's not 16:9. Right. here is the photo. And I believe you said, Paul, that this person on the right here was also not in the room. Am I correct in saying that? The person in the dress. I'll wait till you respond. This on the left, I mean, correct. So, Dan,
Yeah.
this person on the right and this dark figure here on the left, there's the face, head, arm, leg down there. Neither of those two, he's saying, were in that room.
Where's the dark figure? You'll have to point this out for me.
The left.
On the left, yeah. Are you on your phone, aren't you?
Me.
It's a lot harder to see on a mobile phone for some reason. I don't know
I'm
why.
on a computer.
So here's the nose. Here. Here's the eye. Here. Hair. It's looking left. So it's looking to the left. I think if what you're saying, and I'm not discounting it, but obviously the same thing which I get people say to me is, well, I don't know, I've not been there and caught it myself, so I don't know. But if genuinely there's nobody there, that is mental. Absolutely mental.
If there's no one there, that's a spirit.
Because this one is creepy, but this is actual skin.
Yeah, that's a person. That looks like a person. The feet and everything, the dress. That blackness there. We've seen black things, haven't we? We've seen like Josh had seen like black figures and things like that. So I mean, it can
personally don't want to. I'm not saying I don't, but my brain's going, no, I don't want to accept that there's people there because it winds me up. I'll lose sleep over that. Trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I was speaking to the caretaker earlier at that the centre that I can't mention the name of, and he said that he used to have this old car. This scared the shit out of me, Chris. Honestly. And he said that every so often he would smell this really disgusting smell. And it would get worse and worse and worse. So he took it back to the dealer and he was like, oh, can you find out what this smell is? And they said, oh, we can't find anything. And he was like, oh, maybe it's just like the drains or something in a certain area. Or maybe it's when I drive for a certain point, there's something in the engine. So he was driving along again and the smell happened again. He was like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? Then he said one time the smell got so bad, he was like just going slow and he looked up in his wing mirror and he said the only way that he could describe it, he said if you imagine like an ape in the back, black with wings, and he just seen it in the back of his car.
Well, one thing they say that demons and bad entities got the smell
like rotten flesh. And you've told me that before. Sulfur is something that's been chucked into the films. That's not the actual thing. The actual thing is said to be, in proper lore, is the smell of rotten flesh. Now, the second he said that, I was like, oh my god, like, this is weird. Apparently, he took the car back, sold it to somebody else, and then he found out that the car got into a massive crash, and all the people in the car died.
Jesus.
Oh no.
And I was like, literally, I had goose pimples, and normally I don't take things for front value. That's supposed to be
said so many real people there have got real stories. So many people, they've got real stories, real accounts, and they can't tell no one because no one will believe them. And then that's when we come in, we'll listen to people. Yeah. We just will. I mean, we'll make an analysis of what we think it could be. But at the end of the day, we like to go to the place, research it ourselves, have a look and see what happens. And that's exactly what's happened with this episode coming out Sunday.
And I want people to watch it and have like maybe your view, Dan, saying, no, I heard a voice, I think that's a spirit. or your view, Chris, on whatever you might think, or my view go in, well, I can't really conclude anything, I don't know what it is, and take it for what they believe. Because you're there with us. Right, I know you're not literally there with us, but when you're watching it, you are part of the team. So whatever you take from it, if you want to believe that there's an afterlife and there's spirits and it's evidence that your loved ones are somewhere, then so be it. Take that away from it.
Yeah. I mean, we can let people do that because we can hands down say that everything we put out content wise is real. It's 100% everything.
I think a lot of it does. It does. That's a
Discord.
good point that you made there, Mark. Because I think it does help in a way. Because I mean, nobody really knows. I mean, the situation I've been over. I've lost a lot of people, a lot of loved ones. I mean, a lot. And grief affects you so strangely. Everybody's different, and it can really hit home. And to be honest with you, this doing this with you guys has given me hope. You know, I mean, yes, there's good and there's bad. That's what makes up the universe. You know, you have to have an opposite of everything, but it does give me hope, and it gives me a sense of peace. And it would be nice to think that that does the same for other people as well. And if they want to interpret it how they want, that makes them feel good, then that's a nice
Well, yeah,
sentiment,
so
a
be it.
nice
If you
thought.
can get peace and happiness from it, then so be it. Because it's much better than what I take from it, which is frustration and the need for an answer and needing to go again and again and again and again and again just to try you know what I mean? That I just end up exploding. Unless somebody's got a question or wants to ask something or any other points, we're probably going to call it because it's been about an hour now. Oh, why don't Beard include you in his video? I don't know. It's up to him at the end of the day. I just think it's a really weird contradiction to being on a live with him, and then I'm trying to talk to him, and he's sort of talking back, and then I ask him my honest opinion on what he thinks of us and stuff like that, and he, you know, doesn't really reply, and then he sees the message, doesn't really reply, then Mr. Gray's there, and then replies, and then straight after he then replied, I don't know, there could have been a timing thing, who knows, and then he pretty much said, yeah, he's got a problem with our stuff. If he had a problem with it, he would have said. He finds a few things interesting. Had a couple of explanations to things maybe, which I took on board. And yeah,
Well,
the general chats on YouTube that I've had when he's live seem to be, that. And he has said, and he said at the end of one of his lives, a couple of people, channels, Haunted Truth, blah, 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 blah. But then when it came to him naming channels, which he'd been saying he's going to be doing for a while, he didn't include us. And I was like, well, so I don't know.
Well, we're extremely niche to what we do. I told you this, mate. Like, he literally looks at our stuff probably, and it gives him a headache.
Go and ask him. Post on his page and ask him. Just put, why didn't you include Haunted Truth? Because I don't want to do it, because I don't want to sound needy. If he's going to do it, he'll do it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It doesn't bother me. It's his opinion at the end of the day.
Roland's just said, he said that the list to be added is not completed. But, like, you've got to remember what he has said in the past. He said these words, and I'll quote it, right? He likes a group that are respectful. He likes to see legitimacy, and 99% of the time you catch nothing. So that's legitimacy for you.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier, though, didn't we?
That I will argue, because I just will. I think, what's the point in anyone doing paranormal investigations if nothing happens? Because that's the whole point we do it, is to catch stuff.
Well,
And it is wrong that
it is now as well. It's to try and find out, maybe try and get somewhere closer to what the hell's going on, which
yeah,
or try and get more of it to happen, or find a pattern or whatever.
or you'll get these big groups that he's, you know, Ouija brothers and stuff. They're debunking their own stuff. They're finding explanations, and when they catch something, they don't want to make a big thing out of it. That's maybe where we differ, because we make a big thing out of the things that we do catch. We kind of highlight it and we go, right, there's a knock there, there's a sound there, and then we kind of looked at the practicality of it and gone, right, how can we debunk this? No, we can't. Okay, well, we'll leave it to the viewers. That's what we do.
The interesting thing I look at it is that I mean, my personal view is if nobody catches anything, it's just boring. Why would you watch it? You're mental to watch it. But on the other respect is that I think the reason why we're getting more activity is because the fact that we're open, and even you are a hell of a lot more open, Mark, than you used to be, and that helps. If you're closed off to your senses completely, because everybody has senses, if you're closed off to them completely, you ain't gonna pick jack shit up.
I'm gonna have to comment on this because Robin said something.
I think they're all doing it wrong.
Robin has said the respect fees taunting may be the grey area if there is one. I don't taunt if somebody says, you know, my nan died in this house, her name was Jane. It's not going to happen. I'm going to go in there and say, you'll see Sunday. I do taunt later on in the episode, but you'll see all the way through. We're told that there's a old lady there and 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see me not taunt at all for the whole good start of it.
There's a reason for why you change, though. And
there is a reason why I change, because something happens, and then I ask permission. I go, well, can I?
You can put your hand.
I'm going to tell you now, Robin. No. What? What are you in? I will say one thing. We get results from taunting. But the most results you get from, I don't know, going, being really, really polite is maybe the MF might flash a little bit, your REM pod might go dingly, 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 ding, or, you know, something quite subtle, if that makes sense. I don't know from your experience if you've ever had anything big from, I wouldn't go into Snuff Mills and be nice, put it that way. Because that thing down there is a prick. It really is.
Well, I mean, you got to put go on, Chris.
I want rocks. I want things. I want to be attacked. You know what I mean? Throw me in the air.
I will highlight it. I'll be very, very dead straight with it. There's a method that we do. When we go to a location, and we've said this in the past, it's being quiet, listening, slow walking, finding the area to go. We don't just go, oh, someone has said this is the worst area to be. We'll find out for ourselves.
It can take ages. That can take a good hour on itself.
Yeah.
Of just going around, hello, is there someone here? Hello, is there someone there? Hello, is there someone here? And then
but we don't highlight that in the episode. What we do is we look around, we do the recce, we find out where the area is. We'll go to a location, not just 1 or 2 times. We'll go 4 or 5 times to find out what works and what best don't, you know? Most locations, they give nothing, and those locations have been scrapped. It's not that we don't air them, it's just that we've gone there.
Not all of them. I do put them out.
No, early days you put them as unlisted, dude.
Oh, well, the only one that never actually went out was my second visit to the big cemetery in Bristol. What's it called?
Green.
No, the massive one. Arnold's Vale. I went there with Josh, and it was piss, and it was down with rain, and the whole thing was contaminated. And I was like, well, I can't claim there's nothing here, because even if there was, we wouldn't have heard it anyway, because it was a thunderstorm, so I had to get rid of it. I also want to touch on and say something as well, which is really, really important. when you watch the episodes, there are huge gaps sometimes of absolute nothing, and we get rid of it. So when you're hearing me calling out, and then like having a little gap of nothing, and then something, sometimes it can be ages before it happens, but we have to like edit it down and make it
And show
concise.
nothing.
And we also have become really, I don't know if there's an actual word for it, but we have gotten so used to having ladders come away and toys flying out of rooms and stones being chucked at us that I do have to admit we sometimes overlook maybe a little tap or a little "ooh" or something, because our expectations are like up here. And because it's happened so much, yeah, we might not be going, oh, we need to pay attention to that. Oh my god, did you hear that little tap? Because to us, it's just, oh yeah, it was a tap. Typical tap again. Oh, I go to Snuff Mills now, and a stone gets chucked, and I go, oh yeah, stone. Got another one? It's that thing. Like if you do something enough, it just phases. It goes. I think
That's the
I've told
that's the thing for
Bill I love you boys to bits. I've asked me if he asks me
Yeah,
what's
thank you,
your
Robin. I appreciate that, what you've just said. I mean, it's hard to get that trust from people. It really is, especially when you've captured something. You go, right, how do we display this to people without them looking at it and going, flip,
Dan?
that's fake.
What are you gonna say?
I was going to say when it comes to I couldn't understand you taunting in the beginning. I didn't get. I mean, I won't get involved in it, but I kind of understand it now. If you're looking at it from a I don't know, like a biological or whatever they call it sense, when it comes to the human senses,
Yeah.
I get it. If you walk up to somebody in the street and they go, "Oi, what you effing looking at?" You're going to knock them out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like if something evil there is going to launch a great big stone at your face, you're going to go, "You're a twat."
Like you tell me, by the way, these Lee Woods, there's a crossroads and there's a demon here. I'm going
Yeah.
in there, like the Rock, basically. Right, come on.
Well, I'd rather go.
Until
Somebody-
something
Well,
happens.
I go in
somebody-
there like the Rock, and then I come out like
I'd rather go in with
Mr.
Chuck
Bean.
Norris.
It's just like I
This
know
is
I know what works to wind up the nasties.
Yeah.
But listen, it's not really something that we've devised, that we've done on our own accord. We've been told methods that work by people that don't even post their stuff online, don't even seek attention. People that just do it off their own personal back.
and
You know?
and the information not necessarily came from them personally. It's come from people
All over.
which have been practicing this sort of thing since before Christ. Like we're talking years old, before your like exorcisms that you see in modern pop culture exist. This is like old age sort of information. And we can't go by, oh, a REM pod's gone off. We can't even go by, oh, an EMF's gone off, really. Like, yeah, it's weird when it goes off, but we can't use that as evidence. We can't, and I think, Dan, as well, that some of the feelings that you've been having recently have genuine links to the specific location. I don't want to go into too much detail because of spoiler alerts, but there was cause and effect, and that's what I look for. But what I'm going to say before you say that is, we can say to ourselves that's going on, but we can't put that across as evidence to somebody, because you can't. You know what I mean? I can't make somebody understand how I or you are feeling. It's impossible. The only thing that I can get is that item's just moved, or something's just spoken and there's nobody here, or that mist which came out of none of our mouths, or wait a minute, that's a bizarre shadow, there's no one casting it, let's try and remake it. Oh, we can. That I can put across to people.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I mean, in previous episodes, I've proven myself. You've actually conducted a test or two to prove that, whether people are interpreting it differently, but I know what I sense and what I feel is true. I've gotten rid of all the nonsense that I had before, and I actually, a lot of it I just debunk in my own head and go, well, that's just natural, I can feel that.
Yeah.
But when I truly feel something, there's something that's going to happen. I mean, the people that see it in the episode this Sunday, there are things that will happen, and you'll put the connection together
Do
like
you
you did
know
at the
what
ramp.
though?
Just a quick one, guys. Nicola's just said, looking forward to seeing this the Sunday episode, and love your channel. So thank you very much, Nicola.
Yeah.
That means a lot to us. And yeah, the episode going out Sunday is an absolute screamer.
I'm gonna say, Dan, that even if like someone turns around and goes, "Oh, you're just it's just something in your head," or "Oh, you're just putting it on," or whatever. You know what people are like.
Mhm.
You can act the
No.
blood drain from your face. You
No.
looked ill, like
And
really
then
ill.
something happens literally immediately after, but not once.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will say that
Spoiler.
occasionally you don't highlight it, but a lot of the time when Dan does get ill, it's not highlighted too much, but
No.
it's true. Something tends to happen around him getting flustered.
I don't know why. I can't explain
I
it.
don't know why either. I have no idea. I ain't got the answers for you, Dan. But when you have been there, this is very uncanny.
You should come
I
back.
like the fact,
Come back to Lee Woods with us. I don't
you
know
know,
if
Mark,
that's a good idea or not.
I like the fact it messes with your head as well, so that gives me a bit of a buzz.
Any other questions?
Fire away, people.
This is question time now. What's the theme tune to question time?
I don't know. I remember the guy's name, David Dimbleby. That was about it.
When is the next event? Chris, are we doing Wednesday?
No, we've got an event to take people down to Snuff Mills on the 30th.
I don't know if that's event or our event for filming. If it's filming event, that's different to the event that we're doing where we're taking people to Snuff Mills.
Anyway, Mark, you bring a camera anyway, just in case.
So the next filming is going to be Wednesday, and need to see if Billy's on it, because that will depend on where I go.
So if Billy's involved, then it's something different. We're gonna look at the skies a little bit,
Are we gonna do that, or are we gonna go to the house and give him the experience?
I have no idea. I don't know.
We have to think about that. So we're not too sure yet on that one. But the future stuff is gonna be like.
I think if money and distance wasn't an issue, I think we would go to the My Haunted Hotel. I think that's where we would go.
Probably do it anyway. I mean, that's not. That's not even that expensive. If there was no such thing as money and issues, I would be going abroad. I'd be going all over the place. You know what I mean? I'd be off to Suicide Forest. I'd be off to Island of the Dolls.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do that.
Dolls on your own, mate.
That freaking Pine Motel.
I'd go to Island of the Dolls in one of those big bubble things.
No.
So like nothing can come near me, just covered in bubble wrap.
Yeah, it's the spiders that put me off, mate. I'm not on that.
I'm looking at Island of the Dolls from Tenerife.
I went in a cave. Yeah, I went in a cave, which I was saying earlier.
I'm gonna have to go soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna roll it now. This is just last questions, quick fire questions. Would probably get big. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. If there's anything else, then I suppose you could just say it now or forever hold your peace, or just put it as a comment afterwards. And
the other one we about just quickly about saying about what Robin said there was it Greyfriars Graveyard up in Edinburgh next to the Edinburgh Vaults.
Oh, I'll do that.
We are going there. That's one location that we're going to go. We're going to go to Edinburgh.
Josh said he wants to do that as well, and I went, well, you have to take it off work. And he was like, oh, I'm sure I'm sure I can find a way.
See you later, Robin.
But yeah, we're
Bye.
calling it on that. Isn't it weird that, that I've got, that's another thing that, before I go, 734 subscribers. Where have you all been? You all out of the pub? And on that bombshell,
Yeah, it makes no sense compared to some of the lives that I've watched.
I don't get the logic in that. It confuses me.
Well,
Why are you subscribed if you're not commenting or enjoying? I don't know. Maybe you just want to be quiet and you just but you're not even watching. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about
It's your
it.
life. It's your life.
exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for watching if you have been watching. And on the next live, if you make it to the end, I might do a giveaway. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your support.
Subscribe, like,
Bye.
share.